Dangerous territory for the Democrats and the incumbent party.
We could be on the road to Trump 2.0 if Republicans snatch back control of Congress during the midterm elections.
There's simply not a belief among the American people that the Democrats are well equipped to handle pretty much any problem.
This is the year we are going to take back the House. We are going to take back the Senate.
The 2022 midterms were always going to be a red wave of elections. It's no surprise at all, since in 17 of the last 19 midterms, the president's party has lost House seats. That being the case, after what happened in Virginia last November, things began to change.
This is the first time Republicans have won an election for Virginia's top office in 12 years. Again,
2022 began looking less like a red wave and much more like a red landslide. In November of 2021, Republican Glenn Youngkin won Virginia's gubernatorial race, defeating longtime Democratic fixture Terry McAuliffe.
Governor of Virginia defeating Democrat Terry McAuliffe.
While McAuliffe ran on the anti-Trump rhetoric and social justice sloganeering one would expect of a modern-day Democrat.
And he comes down on the wrong side of justice, on equality, and fairness, and he continually disparages individuals, he mocks people.
Youngkin took a relatively new approach for modern-day Republicans. He ran on parents' rights.
And they want their children to be taught how to think, not what to think.
When it came to the classroom, Youngkin stood against the teaching of critical race theory. He stood against inappropriate lessons on gender and sexuality.
Not care about our kids and care more about the education unions, who are the largest donors to his campaign.
He also supported school choice policies. While his opponent claimed that parents should stay out of the classroom.
Off the shelves, and I'm not going to let parents come into schools and actually take books out and make their own decisions.
Youngkin advocated for more curriculum transparency. Youngkin turned the Republican Party into the pro-parent, pro-family party. And it paid off. This was a devastating defeat for Democrats.
The Republicans sending a strong message to Democrats ahead of the 2022 midterm elections.
Only 11 months earlier, Joe Biden had defeated Trump in Virginia by a whopping 10 points. Democrats' 2020 gains had been completely erased. And going into 2022, it looks like they're poised to lose everything.
Good news for Republicans, but indicates a rocky road ahead for President Biden and Democrats.
We are less than a year away from midterm elections, and Democrats are raising alarms over waning support in the party.
A January analysis in Sabato's crystal ball found as much. According to Sabato, Republicans may very well win, quote, a healthy majority in the House in 2022, perhaps even their biggest in nearly a century, end quote. 2 months later, in March, a Rasmussen poll found that if the election had been held that day, 50% of likely voters would have voted Republican, compared with 39% Democrat. Then, in early May, Democrats finally had a message they could rally their base behind. Or so they thought. After a leaked document revealed the Supreme Court may soon overturn the controversial Roe v. Wade decision, Dems went into attack mode.
And we are gonna fight back!
It is hard not to feel angry, troubled, and deeply disturbed.
Unfortunately for them, this didn't exactly go as planned. A poll conducted just before the May 2nd leak found that Dems had made up some ground and were trailing the GOP by a mere 1%.
And yet the Democrats actually in our poll here are up by a point.
Following the leak and subsequent outcry for so-called abortion rights, another poll was conducted. The GOP's lead increased by a whopping 600%. These polls, and many others, suggest that November's red landslide is all but inevitable. Much of this is thanks to President Joe Biden's utter incompetence.
His approval rating has dropped 7 points in just 3 months.
$4 trillion. That's the total size of the tax increases in Biden's plan.
Sky-high gas prices, record-high inflation, empty grocery store shelves, the border crisis, and a number of foreign policy disasters, most notably the Afghanistan withdrawal.
The chaotic and deadly U.S. evacuation from Afghanistan stunned Americans and the world.
Have all contributed to the president's tanking approval ratings.
The direction of our nation, the same number approving of his job on the economy, and just
a recent poll from CNN found that a majority of American voters disapprove of the way Biden has handled the economy, immigration, and even the Russia-Ukraine conflict. As Democrats continue to target children by using public schools to push concepts like gender theory and CRT, Republican leaders such as Youngkin and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis have begun to fight back. And as Republican momentum continues to grow, one reality has been made very clear. 2022's red landslide is only the beginning.